Right, time to get into our team selector then, ahead of Watford's visit to Anfield in the Premier League. I'll be brave. Alisson Becker between the sticks. Gorsty, back four. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I'd probably go with Gomez because I thought he played well against Notts Forest at right back, or Nottingham Forest rather. Robertson left back. He showed no ill effects of his COVID diagnosis. He played a little bit for Scotland, didn't he? And then you're looking at Matip and Van Dijk.
Joe, you go along with that?
Absolutely, 100%.
And Theo?
Yeah, clean sweep. You got 5 substitutions in the Champions League, so you can have, I don't know, someone coming off the bench like Trent in that one if needed, or start Konate. But that's the 4. They've had the break. Let them start this one. Okay,
Theo, stick with you in the midfield. What are you thinking?
Probably going to be Henderson, Fabinho, and Thiago. Naby Keita's injured again, so it's not going to be him. So those are the first choice 3. It's normally 3 into 4, and when there's only 3 available, it's an easy 3.
Joe, do you agree with that as well, or?
Sorry, say again. I missed you there because Sam sent me a message. His ears burning.
Yeah. Do you agree with Theo's 3 for that midfield?
I didn't hear his 3. That's the thing.
Fabhendo, Thiago.
Fabhendo, Thiago.
Deep 3.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to think. Keita's obviously not fit. I would have started Keita if he'd been fit, but as always seems to be the way, the games that you eye up for Keita, he's not fit for, so I'd have started him. Yeah, I think so. I think, it's a strange one, this game, because it feels like the game, if it was sandwiched in between a couple, you rotate, but because they're coming straight back into it, you want to win, don't you? So I would go strong and probably rotate a couple in Portugal.
And lay down that marker, I suppose, for Man City. Gorsty, is that your thinking too?
Yeah, it's a good theory and it's got a lot of weight to it, but I'm not sure whether I'd maybe give Jones a go. I just think with Thiago, you can't get... I don't see Thiago playing. If Liverpool go all the way in every competition, I think they've got 16 games left. I don't see him being able to play, all 16 of them. So you've got to use him sparingly, I think so. Fabinho, Henderson, and I'll give Curtis Jones a run out.
Thiago's the one who's not played on international duty, though.
Yeah, but I just think he's had injury problems, hasn't he, throughout his time at Liverpool and beyond just this season, and it'd just be a shame for him to pick up a little knock that might keep him out for another 2 or 3 weeks against the team who you'd imagine Liverpool can get by without him.
I know I should know my place and I ask the questions and move on, but nobody thinking Harvey Elliott's worth a shout in this. Like Gorsty saying there, did Jones and Elliott play one each of Benfica and Watford, and which way round, or is it just a sub role for Harvey Elliott?
I'd probably give Elliott Benfica. Like, he had the San Siro game against Inter. Seems it suits him a bit more at the moment, but he's still feeling his way back in.
I'd rather keep some consistency. So, I'd almost have the midfield that plays the start of this one, all being fit, play against City next week. So, if it's Fab, Henderson and Thiago in this one, I would have them play again against City and then tweak it. So it could be an Elliott or a Jones in Benfica, or Keita had he been fit. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Joe, what about the forward line then? Where the options are?
I'd go old school and go Mane, Firmino, Salah. I think Firmino likes a goal against Watford, doesn't he?
I took against him, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think Mane is in good form, and like I say, I think Salah will also come back with the bit between his teeth. And I know Diaz suffered disappointment on international duty, and he's had quite a bit of football again. He's going to be good going back to Portugal in midweek, his old stomping ground. So I'd play him in there and possibly just play the original front 3.
Is it the game, Gorsty, that suits Firmino best as well against kind of those relegation threatening sides? I always picture in my mind the game against Newcastle at the start of that 1920 season where he just dropped off the forward line. Lovely little flick, and I think it was Mane scored on that occasion.
He always does well against these lesser teams like your Watfords and your Arsenals.
Yeah, I was going to say Spurs, to be fair. That's
he come on as a sub actually in that game against Newcastle and was just unbelievable. I can see Joe's thinking in terms of it being the traditional front 3, as I think they'll forever be collectively known, even when they don't play for Liverpool anymore. They'll just be they'll have reunions for the front three. Jota, he played for Portugal in both games, didn't he? And Luis Diaz has played in Bolivia and somewhere else in South America. I should know this. I'm literally writing about it today, but he played pretty much the full, but both matches. I think he played 70 minutes in one and 80 odd minutes in the other. So maybe he can have a little bit of a rest, and we'll give Salah, Mane, and Firmino a go.
Venezuela on Wednesday was where he was.
Yeah.
Where'd you put that from, Guy?
The internet. Yeah.
He's read my piece from Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Theo, what about yourself?
Joe's won me over. I reckon traditional front three. They got that form against Watford, as he said. It would have been that three that started for the away game earlier in the season.
I can't remember. I think it was because I remember.
It was, yeah.
I remember what's his name, the left Danny Rose getting. That was probably one of the worst individual performances. I felt a bit sorry for him because Salah was just freakish that day, but just getting absolutely. He looked like a Sunday League player playing against Salah.
And then Watford decided they didn't want him anymore soon after that, so that might be even why. Yeah. But yeah, then they're off to Portugal, so that seems a good one for Jota in his homeland. Diaz having only just left that, both ex-Porto players, so it's a sort of rivalry for them as well, going to Benfica, and then you can make 5 subs there, so you can bring on Mane and Firmino for the final half hour in Portugal. So it's definitely the sort of games where you can rotate the front 5 and still give them a good hour here, hour there, and let them get some goals and do the damage.
All right, okay. What about the no one wants to go against the boss? Joe wins out. What about results then? Gorsty, what's score prediction?
Do you know what? Me and Doyley were talking about this when we come away from Forest, and he said, "Oh no, Watford will be a tough one." And like normally, I just kind of roll my hands and ignore him when he says stuff like that. I actually stopped him and said, "No, come on, Doyley, behave yourself. You say this about everyone, and this will not be a tough game for the Pool." So I'm going to go 4-0.
I'd love to be a Flarnell, eternal pessimist, idiot, and Doyle and Gorsty there, the ray of optimism. But okay, 4-0 for Gorsty. Joe, yourself?
Yeah, I mean, Doyley does look like, if Watford get a corner in the first minute tomorrow, we'll get a tweet saying it'll be hard for Liverpool from here. It's always the Doyley way. But yeah, Watford seems 3-0.
Theo?
Was it a lunchtime kickoff when they won 5-0 at Vicarage Road as well?
Yeah.
Okay, no comment. 3-0 as well. I think it's going to be a bit tougher than a 5-0, but they should still have enough about them to get the win they need.
Okay, brilliant stuff. We'll keep across it, of course, across the Liverpool Echo website. I'm sure. Is Doyley on blogging duty, Joe? Will he be there with his optimism in the blog?
Yeah, he and his great optimism will be there. Deep down, he loves it, doesn't he? He makes out like he's Liverpool are going to lose, but deep down, he absolutely loves it when they win.
Of course he does. Of course he does. We'll have plenty of reaction, of course, across the Blood Red channel as well, whether that is the audio channels, wherever it is you get your podcasts from, or if it is the YouTube channel indeed. Thanks for joining us, myself, Guy Clark, Joe Rimmer, Paul Gorst, and Theo Squires. Until next time, it's bye for now.